Good afternoon. Good afternoon. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Please silence your cell phones and find your seats. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the processional.
Would you mind remain standing, please, for our invocation and our pledge to the flag? At this time, I would like to ask Mr. Randy Morris, our chaplain, to present a special blessing to our class of 2023. Randy?
Let us pray. Our most kind and gracious Heavenly Father, we thank you for the privilege to gather together as a TFS family to honor this outstanding group of seniors. We ask that you give grace and courage to the ones who have worked hard to celebrate this special time of graduation. We thank you for guiding and protecting them through this journey. We pray that you give you all the glory. We ask you to inspire these graduates to put good use the knowledge, skills, and life lessons gained through their education. As they face unknown challenges moving forward, help them to keep dear the wisdom of your love. A chapter is closed and another eagerly awaits. Pave their roads with opportunities and inspire them with hope in this incredible journey called life. Continue to bless our graduates with love, protection, mercy, strength, and wisdom. In thy precious and holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you, Randy. And now I would like to ask our senior class president, Mr. Cannon Brooks, to come and lead us in pledge to our flag.
If you all join me in saying the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Please take your seats. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Thank you for being with us today. I'm Larry Peavy. It's my pleasure to be president of Tallulah Falls School. I'd like to extend a sincere welcome to all of you to this 2023 commencement ceremony. This is a special event, and we want it to be special for everyone, even those that are in other countries, have the capability today of watching live from our streaming that is right above us here. And I want to welcome all of you from other countries and other states and out of town. I'm glad to have you with us today, and thank you to all of you that are with us in person today. I particularly want to express thanks to the parents and grandparents and guardians and those of you that have been truly responsible for these folks being able to sit where they are today. I'd like to introduce our folks on the stage before we get started. If you would stand when I call your name. First, Ms. Kim Popham, our upper school academic dean. Mr. Jim Widener, our TFS Board of Trustee Chair. Mr. Alton Story, Jr., who will give our graduation address today. And then we have some special guests in our audience. We have a couple of our Board of Trustee members. If you would stand and let us recognize you. These are all my bosses, so I want you to be very nice to them today. Thank you all for being here. We also have a group of people that I always like to recognize on any major event day that we have, and those are the people that protect us on a daily basis. Our police, our firefighters, our active duty, our retired military, all of those that are in service for our protection. I'm certainly personally grateful, and I know all of you are too. If you would, those of you that fall into one of these categories, stand up and let us recognize you for your service to our country and to our neighborhood. Thank you. I'm sure you noticed this academic mace that's in front of the stage. This is something that I actually had made by craftsmen in Clarksville, Georgia. The black walnut was donated by a good friend of mine in Milledgeville, Georgia, and we had it made locally, and we're probably the only prep school in the nation that actually has a mace. You know, all colleges and universities have them, and there's a little bit about the mace in your program, but I wanted to share with you that this is something we've been doing now for 16 years, and it is carried by Mrs. Harris, who is our senior faculty member, who's celebrating about 55 years with Tallulah Falls School. I think that deserves a hand, don't you think? Also in your program is a description of our gonfalon. That's a fancy name for a flag. That's this thing behind me. Also, a little bit about our colors, because you'll learn a little bit more about the academic regalia by reading some of this, and you'll see many of the students wearing different robes and so forth, and ropes. The colors of our honor regalia and other items of interest are all listed there. Now, there's one other thing I found out yesterday that I wanted to share with you that I'm very excited about. Every year we announce the total amount of scholarships earned by our senior class. And I'm happy to report that this senior class is a very outstanding class, and collectively they have earned over $7 million in college scholarships. What do you think? Isn't that great? And we're still counting. And when we look back 5 years of this class and the previous 4 years, collectively they have earned over $40 million in college scholarships. I think that just speaks really well for the preparation that these students have had at Tallulah Falls School, and I want to thank these faculty sitting over here for their great role that they've played in helping these students develop to their highest potential. I'd like to particularly thank our faculty, our parents, our guardians, and grandparents for everything you've done over the years, not just recently, but over the years, to develop these young people into the folks that they are today, academically and with outstanding character. You know, that's one of our two main missions, is to develop them academically and also to develop character. We're probably the only prep school in the nation with those two equal components in their mission. And I'm really proud of them. They've lived up to it, and I couldn't be more proud of them. By the way, there's a special group with us today that I want to give some recognition to, and you'll see their pictures in the program. These are folks that started at Tallulah Falls School in the 6th grade, and they've been here 7 years, and the great majority of them are with us today. And I'd like for all of our legacy students to please stand and let us give you some recognition. Thank you so much. There's a kind of a cute way that they've been recognized in the program. You'll see their picture in the 6th grade and then their graduation picture. So it's an amazing group of young people. I'm so proud of them. Well, members of the class of 2023, you've performed well. You've met all the requirements for graduation, and you're ready to receive your high school preparatory diploma. It's a special day for you, and we're all here to celebrate your excellence. There's one other group I want to recognize that's with us today, and they're a special group also, and they're going to be located at this table right over here, and they're going to give a special pin to each of our graduates. The ladies that are here representing the General Federation of Women's Clubs Georgia are Kim Sokolow, President, Martha Lee Sherman, and I think you're the two main representatives. I don't know the name of the third. Deborah. Stand up, Deborah. Glad to have you with us. Now, when you receive your diplomas, you'll walk off the stage and they'll hand you your pen to take back to your seat with you. At this time, I'd like to invite the chairman of our TFS Board of Trustees, Mr. Jim Widener, to make a few comments. Jim?
Thank you, President Peavy. Graduates, parents, family, friends, administrators, teachers, guests, welcome to Tallulah Falls School. I am honored and privileged to be the chairman of the board of Tallulah Falls School. If for no other reason, it affords me the opportunity to make some remarks to and with the class of 2023. Make no mistake, I am under no illusion that you will remember what I have to say. But I hope you do. I want to share something with you that served me well in my career as a lawyer and in my life generally. It comes from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 22, verses 34 through 40. Hearing that Jesus had silenced the Sadducees, the Pharisees got together. One of them, an expert in the law, tested him with this question: "Teacher, which is the greatest commandment in the law?" Jesus replied, "Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second is like it: love your neighbor as yourself. And all the law and the prophets hang on these two commandments." Graduates, if you adhere to these words, if you work hard and do the right thing all the time, I assure you, you will have a full and rewarding life. God bless and protect you. God bless and protect the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Jim. Now, I would like to introduce our speaker for today, Mr. Alton H. Story, Jr. And Mr. Story is a seasoned and proactive security professional, offering more than 20 years of security, safety, threat management, emergency preparation, and executive protection in many, many different areas. He's a proven track record of success in developing, leading, and coordinating the implementation of organizational policies and procedures to successfully manage and mitigate security risks impacting travel and special events. He's worked with Alameda Research in the Bahamas, was the Executive Vice President of Emergency Preparedness and Global Security, Senior Manager of Corporate Security for the Home Depot in Atlanta, Director of Threat Assessment for the University of Alabama, was a member of the Presidential Protective Division of the U.S. Secret Service, and I've actually seen a movie picture of him protecting one of the presidents as there was a potential threat. It's an interesting job that you've had, Al. He provided personal protection for Donald Trump Jr., for Donald Trump, the president, from 2016 to 2019, and prior to that, provided personal protection for President Jimmy Carter. Please help me welcome Mr. Alton H. Story, Jr. It's a pleasure to have you, Al.
Thank you, Dr.
Thank you. Dr. Peavy, distinguished members of the board, distinguished guests, and the graduating class of 2023. Good morning. My name's Al Story, and I'm a retired United States Secret Service agent. I'm a native of Rabun County, Georgia, and I'm truly honored, humbled, and blessed to be given this opportunity and invitation to come and share in this joyous and remarkable event in your lives. I can also assure you your gratitude, appreciation, and love for your teachers, coaches, and administrators who poured their collective souls and efforts into shaping and developing you will be more appreciated and will grow as the years go by. Graduating from Tallulah Falls High School is a monumental step and crowning achievement of all of your efforts. As great as today is, I want to share with you that this is just the beginning. You have laid the necessary foundation and groundwork for continued success, adventures, and prosperity, regardless of where you are directed in life. There will be highs and lows on the paths ahead of you. Life isn't always easy. As a matter of fact, it can be downright tough, unfair, and challenging at times. Inevitably, there will be many obstacles and hurdles that you will face. Some will be unavoidable and fall under the category of Murphy's Law. Other challenges along your paths will be the result of your own choices and your own decisions. I want to encourage each one of you to dare to dream and follow your hearts. Don't be afraid to take carefully thought out, calculated risk. Notice I stress the word calculated risk. God has a plan for you. Take a moment to recognize the life-defining moments. I certainly don't have all the answers for you, as each person has his or her own destiny to follow. I'm still learning and discovering for myself. As a matter of fact, I finally was able to complete my master's degree 30 years after I got my bachelor's degree. We all never stop learning. My hope and wish is merely to share a few little tidbits, silly sayings, and real-life successes and failures that have helped me out along my own path. You may find them a little bit childish or maybe even a bit corny, but I swear to you they've helped me personally navigate many of life's challenges and obstacles. They pick me up when I've been down. They push me to persevere and not give up on myself and others. I want to share with you some parts of my own life experiences, both ups and downs. I will say with all certainty and conviction, any and all successes I've personally been given and experienced have been blessings from God. I share these examples from my own life lessons with the highest degree of thankfulness, gratefulness, and humility. Life lesson number 1. If you want a friend, you have to be a friend. This is exactly what my mother told me back in 1975 when I started the first grade at Clayton Elementary School. It worked for me back then and continues to work for me to this day. When I reported for Secret Service training in 1997, I was nervous, I was scared, and I was, quite frankly, unsure of what I'd gotten myself into. I remembered what my mother had told me: if you want a friend, you have to be a friend. Armed with that belief, I introduced myself to my classmates. The first one I ever met that day was a guy from Boston, Massachusetts by the name of Neil Haggerty. Neil and I had completely different native accents, his distinctly Boston and mine deeply rooted in Southern twang. Nonetheless, we became instant friends. We did everything together throughout training. Toward the end of our careers, 20 years later, I was making my plans for my approaching retirement when Neil promoted me and became my boss on the President's Secret Service detail. Every job I've ever had in my life was not due to my abilities or capabilities, and certainly not due to my GPA. All of my opportunities were directly due to the connections and friendships I've been blessed with in my life. So I'll tell you again, if you want a friend, you have to be a friend. Number 2, ships are safe in the harbor, but that's not what a ship was built for. Life is not about waiting for the storms to pass. It's about learning how to dance in the rain. We must endeavor to persevere. My high school football coach, Richard Ledford, Rabun County High School, told me this one when I hesitantly and reluctantly approached him with the unorthodox idea that I wanted to try to play Division I college football. Keep in mind, I was not a 5-star. I was not a 4-star football player. I was a no-star football player. Armed with a dream and a lot of positive people behind me, I walked on the football team at the University of Georgia. I never started or even played very much, but I made the team and I earned a varsity letter at UGA, mostly due to my time spent as a tackling dummy. I contemplated quitting so many times I lost count, but I can tell you the satisfaction of running out into Sanford Stadium packed with 90,000 barking and crazed fans made it all worthwhile for me, as I really wasn't even supposed to be there in the first place. Don't be afraid to follow your passions and push yourselves towards your dreams and goals. Each adversity in life is an opportunity to grow, to learn, to evolve, and to get stronger, and to become a better person. More recently, I accepted the position of Executive Vice President of Global Safety and Security for FTX cryptocurrency in Nassau, the Bahamas. Yeah, you got that right. It's the same cryptocurrency firm that we've all seen recently in the news that crumbled amid widespread illegal financial transactions. This took me and my security team by total surprise and complete shock. Like I said, I took a calculated risk and moved to the Bahamas. Remember what I said ships were built for? These defining moments and challenges we all face, they forge us, they define us. And if we'll let them, we must work through the process. We must learn the lessons and reap the full benefits. Number 3, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. One of my former college football teammates shared this one with me, and I've repeated it so many times to my own children, it's permanently ingrained into their brains. Whether preparing for a math test, taking the ACT, or planning for a presidential inauguration, proper prior preparation prevents poor performance. Always take the time and put forth the extra effort to prepare for your challenges, your trials, and your tests in life. Take life seriously, but not too serious. My best example of this is when I was working for Donald Trump Jr. as his detail leader. He fired me 30 times. Yeah, that's right. I counted him. He fired me 30 times. I was actually pretty concerned the first few times he fired me. I called my wife and I said, I may be coming back to the beautiful mountains of Georgia. I was a little concerned when, after a while, I realized he wasn't serious. He just needed to vent a little bit. Number 4, surround yourselves with like-minded, positive people. You truly are defined and molded by the company that you keep. I don't mean to tell you not to reach out and help those who are a little off track and making poor decisions or struggling in their own lives, because that's what God wants us to do. I'm simply suggesting positive influences and positive habits are contagious, and they will propel you forward in life. Remember, bad company corrupts good character. Show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Number 5, body, mind, and spirit. Take time to ensure all 3 of these components and pieces of your being are equally challenged, nurtured, and stable. It's imperative to work hard and develop yourselves in athletics, academics, and spirituality. Make sure you do whatever it is to ensure you are sound and at peace. Don't be afraid to reach out and ask for help if you need it. I ask for help all the time because none of us gets it right every single time. Number 6, find your purpose, but don't stress out if you don't know exactly what it is. Folks, very, very few people in this world come out of high school or even college knowing what they want to do with their lives. One of my mentors, former Georgia Bureau of Investigation Director Buddy Nix, once told me, find and follow your passion, and you will never feel like you are working a single day in your life. I realized I wanted to be a Secret Service agent during my last 6 months of college at the University of Georgia when I was blessed to have been invited to listen to a couple of Secret Service agents who had come to Athens, Georgia to recruit. I didn't realize it at the time, but that was the hand of God directing me toward my purpose. Take time to recognize and identify your passions and to reflect on your own core values, your principles, and formulate a plan to make your dreams and ambitions a reality. Mark Twain summed this up by saying, the two most important days in your life are the day you were born and the day you find out why. Number 7, and this is a good one. You got to have a bad case of the wants. This one comes from the great and legendary University of Georgia defensive coordinator and former Georgia Southern head football coach Irk Russell. Coach Russell earned 10 varsity letters at Auburn University while he was an undergraduate athlete. He's the last four-sport varsity letter winner in Auburn history. Coach Russell resurrected the football program at Georgia Southern and led them to 3 national championships. This one particularly hits home with me. When I originally applied to be a Secret Service agent, there was no internet, so everything was done through the U.S. mail, which we now refer to as snail mail. I clearly remember running to the mailbox in Clayton, Georgia, waiting for my letter that was marked U.S. Secret Service. We only lived about 50 yards from the post office, so it was a pretty quick sprint for me. I remember looking at the letter that had finally arrived as my heart pounded with nervous anticipation. I ran home and I sat on the front steps of my parents' house and opened my letter. I was completely devastated. As tears ran down my face, I read the words, "You were not accepted due to the fact there are better qualified applicants to choose from." The year was 1993. I was finally hired and sworn in as a Secret Service agent in 1997, 4 years later. I kept reminding myself of Coach Irk Russell's sage advice given many years earlier: you got to have a bad case of the wants. Sometimes in life, you have to back up, regroup, and take a different path in order to get to your desired destination. Sometimes our timing and God's timing are completely different. God has the master blueprint for our lives. After getting my first rejection letter from the Secret Service, I made a calculated decision to come back to my comfort zone and formulate a new plan for success, and that meant starting off in the absolute trenches. I began my law enforcement career working as a booking officer and detention officer for the Rabun County Sheriff's Office. Back in those days, it was a pretty long stretch for me to believe that I could realistically make my dream work. I had a lot of long days of doubting myself. But remember when I told you I was previously a no-star football player? Sometimes, most of the time, the only person you need to help you succeed is the person staring back at you in the mirror every day. After a couple years, I was hired as a special agent with the State of Georgia Bureau of Investigation. After a few more years, I was finally hired as a United States Secret Service agent in 1997. I worked on the Secret Service detail for President Donald Trump. Soon thereafter, I moved to the largest city in the United States, New York City. And when I was put in charge of starting from scratch and managing the initial Secret Service detail for Donald Trump Jr., his wife Vanessa, and their 5 children. Never did I imagine I would end up as a supervisory agent assigned to the Presidential Protection Division with an office inside of Trump Tower with my name on it in New York City. My journey has taken me a long way from these beautiful Northeast Georgia mountains, and I've been blessed with countless remarkable memories and experiences. Enjoy your journey. Enjoy your own process. I never would have dreamed or believed I would be walking down Pennsylvania Avenue alongside of the 45th President of the United States of America on Inauguration Day. For me, that was the single greatest moment of my career, and it happened after 20 years toward the very end of my career. Graduates, you have to crawl before you walk, before you can run. Be persistent, be bold, and never give up on your dreams. I'm truly honored to share in your great day today. It's a culmination of all of your efforts. Take the time to reflect and celebrate this time with your families. I can promise you that your families have invested, sacrificed, worried, and prayed over all of you throughout your high school journeys. Oh, and one last thing. Quit worrying about posting everything on social media and instead focus on living and appreciating the sweet moments of life. Your best days and years are ahead of you. I can't wait to see and hear all the great things each of you will do and accomplish. Good luck, and God bless you all.
Al, we certainly appreciate all your kind words and words of wisdom here. And we've got a little memento here we would like to share with you. This is a signed print by John Colick, and he's one of the famous artists in our community, as you know.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to have this as a remembrance of your time with us.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm honored.
We appreciate it. And now, Trey, you're on. We're going to hear first from our salutatorian and then our valedictorian.
"7 years. It's been 7 years since I came to this school in the 6th grade. At the time, I was about a head shorter, debilitatingly shy, and not quite sentient. I've changed a lot in that time to be standing here on stage discussing our graduation in front of what looks to be about 60,000 people, give or take. All of us have changed, whether we came here 7 years ago or just last semester. We've shaped one another, poured our faith and support into one another, been the wind in each other's sails and the sun on each other's backs. It's bittersweet, but at last our time together is over. We've not lost each other, though. Just as the sun still warms us from 94 million miles away, so too may the light of our connections and memories warm us wherever we might go. It's hard choosing the last bit of wisdom to be my final light that some of you might take with you. First and foremost, be yourself, have fun, and always remember to check the next lane before merging. That one's serious. Secondly, ask yourself often and genuinely, will I be glad to have done this in the future? Will this thing I'm doing, or perhaps not doing, as is often my case, be worth doing or not doing after it has been done? Third, remember that our capacity to succeed is 75% self-image. If you cannot see yourself as someone capable of doing what you need to do, you never will be. You decide who you are, and by extension, what you can do, and it is never too late to change. Fourth, and finally, sometimes you're going to feel lost. I'm sure many of us do right now. When you don't have a target to move toward, it can feel like you're not moving anywhere at all. We struggle to find goals. We think them unattainable. We worry that who we were in the past delimits who we can be in the future. My favorite quote from one of my favorite authors: "The past exists only in memory, and the future only in expectation. Neither is real. The past and the future, our lives and dreams, are stories. We are all stories in the end, only stories. If you have nothing else to guide you, just try to live a story worth reading. If you can do that, you have my pride, and surely that of all of us. So let's make each other proud."
Now, Walker, our valedictorian.
To be honest, I wasn't sure what to write about when I was sitting on my bed brainstorming for this speech. I mean, I'm a 17-year-old guy and a senior in high school. How was I supposed to come up with some path, some piece of enlightenment that hasn't been said by someone much more qualified than me and in much more eloquent terms? So, I was stuck. Until I started thinking, what would I tell my freshman self if I could roll back to the clock to the first day of school? Immediately, a whole bunch of stuff came to mind. Don't walk weird, don't make jokes that aren't funny, find your people. The list goes on and on. And yet, I'm still staring at a blank screen. I stewed for a little longer, trying to glean the essence of high school, what makes it enjoyable and fruitful, instead of some dreary checklist you slog through every day. And that's when it hit me. Everything but high school makes high school great. Now, I know you're probably thinking at this point that I was up too late writing this, and you'd be right, but allow me to explain. If I was to ask anyone in this room over the age of 50 right now what the length of a cell was, what would happen? Probably a blank stare and then some vague half answer. But let's say I instead asked that same person, what was your best friend's mom's name? Or maybe, what was the wildest party you went to? I'd be standing there listening to some long-winded tale of a summer Friday night for the next week. But so what? Obviously, we won't remember every single date, fact, or tidbit that was ingrained into our brains in ninth grade biology. But why not? What about that information decays while other things stay strong? Of course, there's probably some complicated scientific explanation to that question, but I'd prefer to look at it from a high schooler's perspective. At least for me, I always remember my most enjoyable moments. That doesn't mean school isn't important, and I'm not going to stand up here and list you all the reasons why it is. But really, if you look back in 50 years, the difference between an 100 and a 99 won't matter. But choosing to bail on your friends to study will. Quitting your favorite club so you have more time to play video games will. It's impossible to avoid all regret. But when you graduate high school or college, what do you want to say about your experience? Probably not that you wasted it away partying. Or on the other hand, you spent all your time holed up in your dorm room. Which brings me to my point, the one thing I think many people could stand to have a little more of in their life: balance. The word balance is defined in the dictionary as a condition in which different elements are equal or in the correct proportions. To me, the last few words stood out: in the correct proportions. Who is to decide what that means? And that's the thing, is that it's different for everyone, which is why everyone's ideal experience, not just in high school, but in life, is unique. I can't tell you what ratio that is, but I can guarantee you it's not a singular purpose, something I've had to learn the hard way. Rather, it's a plethora of talents, experiences, and goals, all intertwined to create a singular mosaic, only beautiful when combined into one. So, how would you create such an artwork? Well, the answer is, you can't. It creates itself. But what you can do is gather the pieces. Go to some far-off country, study for that extra hour to get your A, run that second faster to get your PR in a race, go see a one-time concert. Those pieces matter. You don't want to get to the end of your life and realize you don't have the parts you needed to create your mosaic. But there's still time to seek them out. And that's what I'd encourage everyone here to contemplate. I promise you that you won't regret it.
And now I will be assisted by Kim Popham with the presentation of our diplomas.
Laura Alagrudic. Braylon Nicole Allen. Nana Safarandu Amankwa. Gavin Elias Atkinson. Sandra Badia Fested. Walker Delane Bailey. Miracle Jada Bain. Emma Caroline Barrett. Mina Baratovic. Bitch. Stasha Baratovich. Henry Allen Bowman. Cannon Grant Brooks. Charles Arrington Brown III. Devonte Fabian Brown. Hattie Camille Cantrell. Newt Jackson Carnes II. Miranda Chapa Castellanos. Yin Cho. Simeon Chinyagich. Diego Alejandro Crota. Mayway De Velasco. Leah Milan Desta. Carol Catherine Dunlap. Malizia Jurovich. Heron Gray Eaton. Hudson Spear Eller. Ellison Alex Eubank. Ziyu Fong. Lucia Fano Mateos. Jonathan Tyler Farmer. Naya Fresno Suarez. William Traden Green. Lazar Gruanich. Jacob Ramsey Hall. Lincoln William Hall. Afrani Delano Hanna. Savannah Ray Harris. Cassidy Diane Hayes. Amy Elizabeth Enriquez. Colton Gray Hicks. Adeline Grace Higby. Yua Hu. Christy Brooke Holtzy. Emma Sinclair Jackson. Christian Yankovic. Sarah Elizabeth Jennings. Isabella Marie Jones. Seth Hunter Justice. Lane Francis Kafsky. Chloe Ann Kawach. Adam Keen Kennedy. Maria Kanina. Tristan Matthew James Lamb. Anastasia Lajava. Danica Tahilia Lightborn. Dallas Bryce Lunabaum. Shuying Liu. Hannah Lee Lundy. Xingao Liu. Frankie George Morey, Jr. Meredith Emily Morris. Madeline Brecken Mullis. Kaylin Ashley Neal, who is not able to be here today. Benjamin Chinadun Okoronkwo. Keely Faith Lynn Parks. Ramaya Faith Pittman. Vlad Iwan Popescu. Madison Andrea Ramey. Christina Isabel Rodenas Elithius. Benjamin Michael Rosenthal. Sofia Reda Alvarez. Christian Graham Russell. Elsa Sanchez Marino. Katie Grace Scaramuzzo. William Gabriel Seaman. Tanisha Anika Seymour. Singwook Shin. Emery Grant Sims. Ninel Andravano Teraskova. Satori Chandler Tilley. Trenton Scott Toller. Emma Kate Trotter. Cecily Eve Tucker. V. Vaha. Jua Wong. Ishuang Linda Wong. Nelson Charles Wilkinson IV. Zhishao Gao Sean. Wyatt Montgomery York. Ray Chin Jong. Austin James Ziegler.
Okay, we have our alma mater coming up. I think we've got some lead singers here, and we're going to conclude our graduation service after the singing of the alma mater. So, lead singers, come forward.
Please stand and join us in singing our alma mater.
You don't want to be seen?
Where the mountains rise to the southern sky, and the holly and the pine tree grow, and gather all that wisdom's call to the heart of the school we know. We sing to thee, Tallulah, thy children we, Tallulah. Oh, may our song re-echo long in praise to thee, Tallulah. Thy home is high, to the wisdom nigh, to the strength and the joy of the hills. To us, oh, bring thee while we sing the lore of its crags and rills. We sing to thee, Tallulah, thy children we, Tallulah. Oh, may our song re-echo long in praise to thee, Tallulah. And the road we're bound goes winding round, and the crack before us hides our view. Just to the bend, so on to the end, rings clear thy counsel true. We sing to thee, Tallulah, thy children, we Tallulah. Oh, may our song re-echo long in praise to thee, Tallulah.
Thank you, senior members of our choir. Well, I want the candidates for graduation to remain standing, if you will. The rest of you can have a seat, please. I'm very proud of our seniors this year. I truly believe they all have extremely bright futures. I would wish you success, but success looks inward. Significance looks outward and focuses on what impact you have on others. And believe me, I think the greatest impact ever is being able to have an impact that remains long after you're gone. You have achieved success by being here today. And now I challenge you to go forth from here and try to strive for significance. Make a difference in life. I'm confident that as you all go your separate ways, you will remember your classmates and your experiences from your high school days. Your first class reunion will give each of you an opportunity to renew your friendships. And I'm inviting you right now to come back to your first reunion. And now, by the authority vested in me by the Tallulah Falls School Board of Trustees, and with the recommendation of the faculty, I hereby grant each of you this college preparatory diploma with all the rights and honors and privileges appertaining. You may now move your tassel from right to left. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the class of 2023. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes our graduation ceremony. There will not be a recessional. You are welcome to come join your graduates, and please feel free to use the stage for any type of photograph that you might like to take. Thank you for being with us.
Exactly. I had to make it a G version. You did a great job, Al. Thank you.